Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis and welcome to part 2 of the 300-gallon overhaul build series. Now, in this video, we're going to be removing as much coral as we possibly can from all 4 of the rock structures, going to be catching the eel, removing 2 of those 4 rock structures, and catching Big Bertha. So instead of drawing this out for multiple videos, I figured I'd just cram that stuff together in hopes that, it'll be somewhat entertaining for you guys. Now, either way, this process was pretty crappy for me. Definitely did not enjoy it, and ultimately it is done. Well, at least 99% done. I still got to put a little bit coral back in the tank, but overall everything went pretty smoothly. And yeah, so with that said, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so when it comes to removing the coral from these rock structures, as you guys saw in the previous clip, I just went ahead and removed a pretty big chunk of the ATL blue clover just by wiggling it and pulling it off. Now, granted, that colony wasn't one that grew there this entire time. I actually just kind of placed it there in order to take up some space where the rainbow granulosa was before it got destroyed. And yeah, so it was just kind of glued in place. It was easy to remove, so I went ahead and did that. Now, when it comes to removing the rest of the colonies in the tank, it's pretty much the same thing. I'm just going around and wiggling what I can and pulling off what I can without destroying the whole colony. Now, of course, you guys will see here in a minute, I will be removing both of these middle rock structures, and I will be chiseling the middle right one, which then eventually crumbles to nothing, and getting off all those colonies that are just really encrusted and all that kind of stuff. Now, when it comes to the middle left rock structure, you guys will see in a later video, I'm going to be power washing that, completely cleaning it off. If you guys want to see what that looks like now, you can head over to, I believe I put a short up, one of those short 1-minute videos where I was power washing it before. And yeah, so either way, I'm going to go ahead and go through here and just remove what colonies I can. Nothing too crazy. It's not very difficult. Again, just kind of wiggling them and pulling them off and hopefully not crumbling them into pieces. Now, what I do end up doing is going through with my tongs. They're like a metal tongs that I use to pick up stuff off the bottom of the tank. And I do get in here at one point and start prying colonies, kind of breaking them off piece by piece and kind of hitting them a little bit. I know that mangy tor, I think, however else you pronounce it, the one that's right in the front here, I do kind of like hit it a little bit. Sorry, I burped. And not editing that out, but either way, one shot, one take, here we go. But I do end up hitting it with the tongs and kind of breaking it into a bunch of pieces, and then I do scoop them up with a net. But yeah, again, it's a pretty easy process. You can see that that left rock structure is also a little loose. Now, you probably saw it way before because I am going to fast forward the video. But either way, some of these rock structures are definitely loose and just kind of happens over time. And I do take the opportunity during this whole process to re-glue things and put some putty in there and just kind of make things a little bit more stable. Also, I do add a little bit of rock to the far left rock structure just to kind of give it a little bit more of a features to kind of put some coral on. But either way, again, pretty easy process. No reason to sit here and say that 1,000 times or keep talking about it. So let's go ahead and move on to catching the eel. All right, now I will admit I did attempt to try to catch Big Bertha with the rock still in the tank, and it just didn't work. I even fed her, put food in the net, moved it around. You can see that she's having a no problem dodging the net. She definitely doesn't like it. But either way, it was worth a shot. I figured I'd go ahead and just, either draw her over to the net or get the eel out. And I know that he likes to come over to whatever side the food is at. So that's what I'm trying to do now, is just kind of keep her busy, catch her if I get an opportunity to, and get the eel to come over and finally get him in the net, which, by the way, it really wasn't too difficult. He's not as smart as Reggie. I don't know. Reggie, the snowflake eel, man, that dude was super smart, and he wouldn't let me get anywhere near him with a net. But this guy is just, maybe he's just too attached and drawn and fixated on food that he's not paying attention to the net. But either way, I do catch him and relocate him. And as I mentioned before, he did go to a new home, and he's doing pretty well there. Okay, so moving on to the most stressful part of this entire process, and that is removing the 2 middle rock structures from the tank. Now, a couple things that I was worried about. One, how heavy was it going to be, given that it was not only rock, but it was waterlogged, totally full of water, being Pukani, that just kind of holds everything there. And also, was it going to stay together? Was the rock going to crumble? Was it going to break? Was it going to hit the bottom of the tank? Was it going to break the tank? Trust me, all these things were going through my mind. And also on top of that, I'm on this stool. It's wobbly. If I fall, no one's saving me. All right. So yeah, definitely was nerve-wracking, but I went ahead and I did manage to remove both the rocks. I reached down as far as I could, got down there armpit deep and just kind of cradled it the best that I could. Didn't let it touch the sides of the tank, and just kind of hope and pray that it wasn't going to break on the way out. Thankfully, everything held together, at least until I got it to the bottom of the tank. Yeah, at least I got it until the floor where I started chiseling it, and then it kind of crumbled to pieces. So again, thankfully it stayed together, and yeah, definitely not a fun process, but it had to be done. Okay, now that we got both the rock structures on the floor, it's time to go ahead and chisel off what I can from the middle right rock structure. Now, I do chisel a little bit from the middle left, but I don't want to do too much damage to this rock structure because I am going to power wash it, get those encrusting montiporas off of there, clean it up really good, get some zoas off there, and just be able to put that rock structure back in the tank, which thankfully, again, it does work out well. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and really chisel up the middle right rock structure, which again was the wobbly one. It just kind of... As I mentioned before, I was planning on putting that rock structure back in the tank depending on how this process went, but during the initial chiseling phase of this, I realized that it was definitely not going to happen. It was extra wobbly, extra weak, and just crumbled in my hands, which you guys will see here in the video. But yeah, just going through with a chisel. I picked up a set from Home Depot. I got 3 of them for like $8, pretty good stuff, and you can see just kind of hitting it, it goes to nothing. And just going through with a hammer and chiseling and getting off these colonies. Now I'm not actually cutting the coral, I'm cutting the rock, and then I'll go through later with my bandsaw and cut the rock and get the colonies out on disc or frag them up, whatever I end up doing with them. But yeah, just going through and trying to save as much as I can and what I can, because there's a lot of encrusting corals all throughout this, not only you know, encrusting like media shower, but there's a bunch of zoas and stuff that are going to be, you know, I can grow out again and resell down the road. And yeah, this thing just crumbles to nothing, but definitely got a lot of coral off of it. And after that, I went ahead and let it sit outside and eventually chucked it in the dumpster. But yeah, definitely needed to have. My kids were super interested. They were trying to find like these little brown starfish, and they were going through, or brittle stars, and they were you know, all fascinated with it. I don't know how many times I told them to put their shoes on, but they, you know, in one ear out the other, right? But yeah, either way, it's definitely a fun experience, and well, I wouldn't say fun, but it was an interesting experience, and again, I'm just glad that it's over. Okay, moving on to the part that we've all been waiting for, and that is removing Big Bertha from the 300. And as you can see here, it's pretty open. There's just the 2 rock structures left in there, and it just allows me to get a little bit more room to try to kind of corner her and get her to go into the net. Definitely took me a while. I cut out quite a bit of this video. We are going to fast forward a little bit as well. It was not fun. She's not dumb. Definitely not dumb. But I do manage to kind of scare her around the rock structure, getting her to, you know, think that she has free swimming room to get to the other side, and then eventually she swims directly into the net. Now, these were the biggest nets that they had at Petco. Now, I'm sure I could have went to that fish place and got a bigger one or whatever, but I didn't feel like driving 45 minutes to just hopefully find a bigger net. So I went ahead and got 2 of the biggest ones I can find. I think they are 10-inch or 12-inch, something like that. But as long as I could get her to swim into one of them, I could definitely catch her, and that's exactly what I did. It took quite a while, and yeah, there we go. Swim in, good to go. Now, yeah, she's a beast. Now, if you guys are wondering where she is, I did put her in the tub. She's actually really, really loving the tub, and I'm starting to enjoy packing coral because she's just right there. She swims up, swims in between my hands, comes over and rubs her little snout on me. Do fish have snouts? I don't know what they have, but either way, she comes through, has a great time, and yeah, definitely love that fish. Now, as I mentioned before, if she is not happy or she gets stressed out, I will definitely relocate her to a bigger aquarium. We'll just kind of play it by ear and see what happens. But yeah, guys, that's about it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the next one where we will be I think we'll be power washing some rock, cleaning some stuff, maybe putting rock back in the tank. I don't really know exactly all the parts I'm going to put together in one video. As I mentioned before, I'm trying to combine them so they're not spread out between like 300 videos in the series. But either way, guys, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you later. Peace.